Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way. I know you can hear me, but you can't see me. Now you see me. Come on in here, honey bun. Ah, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Let's see who's here. Let's see who is here. And for those of you who came in who may not know who we are the Sawyers, and this is Life Class. And we've had a very rainy day here in the Carolinas. And I, something funny happened today. It was raining so hard that, I was thinking, well, baby girl's had her food. She's going to need to go outside. So I let her outside early and she went out there and she TT'd, but she came back in. It was raining so hard. And then later on, after she ate her breakfast, she wanted to go out again. And this time I knew it was for number two. So I let her out in the yard. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to go all the way out with her, because normally she just go out in the yard and do what she's got to do. This time, I don't know, baby girl was ready. She went out the door and I came back in just to get my umbrella so I could go out with her. I looked up when I got outside and baby girl had run all the way up the street, across the street, over to one of the neighbors' yards, which is one of her spots. And running, her neck was about this long. And her little legs were just going. And she went over there, did her business, and came back running. I was screaming, she came back running. She was so happy she got that done. We were just so fortunate and blessed that there were no cars coming.
That's the truth.
Because she struck out like, I'm not waiting for you. I got to go. And normally she doesn't go outside the yard like that. But this time she said, I'm going. I got a spot I want to go to, and that's it. So now I got to watch her when she goes out. I got to make sure she's on the leash every time. She took things into her own hands. But she was happy when she got back. I wish I had recorded it. It was really funny. You didn't think it was funny, but you didn't see it.
No.
Anyway, hope you guys are doing all right. Let's see who's here. My sister and my brother-in-law were here. Hope you had a good day. Did they let you out of school early, sissy? They let you off work early? There's Brother James. You and Kelly. I hope you guys are doing all right. Kelly, thank you for the cash app, sweetheart. Pastor Norman, what's the weather like in South Carolina? What's the weather like? Hey, Dee Dee and George. Dee Dee, I called the dentist. They were out there. They weren't there on Friday when I called. And I've got to call them again. So I had too many things going on. But I'm going to call them and talk to them. Hey, Sandra. John Greason's in the house. And hey, Sissy. Burn. Did you get what I sent you? I sent you an email. It was really funny, comical. Anyway, I'm glad you're here with us. You all right tonight? You're a little sore tonight. You did some stuff yesterday. They did let her out at 12 today. Okay. What do you mean horrible? Is it raining? We didn't have any. For a moment there, I thought we were going to have some tornadoes, but we didn't. And
I thought it was nice.
Oh, yeah, because you love rain. You love the rain. Hey, Virginia. I'm glad you're here too, honey bun.
Miss Pearl.
Miss Pearl, glad you're here, sweetheart. Yeah, so that was our day. Our day was not too busy, but just eventful. Just very eventful. All right. You got something good on your plate tonight?
Sure do. Every day.
Every day. Let's do our affirmation, meditation, prayer, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Pastor Norma, we had that too. The rain and tropical force winds we did. I thought it was going to be a
Pink,
tornado
pink
for a
sky,
while.
dark sky, and all that stuff.
At one point, the rain was so heavy that you couldn't even see through it. But we made it through it, and we're going to be fine. And we had one young lady, Denise, text me to ask if we were okay, and
Denise,
I text her back.
his Pearl's cousin.
She texted us just to see if we were doing okay. I always appreciate when people do that to think about us. That was good. So let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to do our affirmation, meditation, and prayer. I enjoyed. What did I do? What did I do? Oh, there it is. There it is. Now we're gonna do. I'm gonna do two of them. Nothing that we haven't done before. I just feel this is what I want to do right now. And before I do this, I just want to say to the Lord that we give you the right, which is always your right, to make modifications in our behavior, any adjustments that need to be made in our belief systems, any adjustments that need to be made in our preferences and our desires. We give you the right to do those things. And we surrender with a wholeheartedly yes. We give you a yes tonight, Lord. As much as we can, we surrender to you. And you can say this, or you can repeat this after me, or you can simply listen, whichever you prefer. I give thanks to thee, O God, for my existence. I give thanks to thee, O God, for your presence. I give thanks for this awareness, for the awareness of my existence. And I surrender the illusion of being a personal self. I relinquish ownership of this body. I relinquish ownership of this mind. I relinquish ownership of this life. I return to you what has always been yours. I give up the right to claim anything as my own. And I surrender all self-identities and mental belief systems. I surrender to what has happened and to what is happening and to what will happen in the future. I embrace everything as my lesson. I accept that I am here in this body. And I now turn to the God presence within. There I find peace. There I find purpose. There I find joy. There I find contentment. And there I find fulfillment. When I find peace, I have found God. When I find purpose, I have found God. When I find joy, I have found God. When I find contentment, I have found God. And so it is. And so it is. Good afternoon, Brother Kessler and Sharon. Good to have you guys with us. Yeah. All right, sweetie, what you got? What you got going here?
When we leave the portals of our true essence, everyone that come here, if you ask them, are they being their real self, they would say, yes, I am. But that is a, allowing the ego self, which is not known. We knew nothing about anything of the word ego when we started out.
That's true.
All we knew was saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, speaking in tongues.
And wanting to have a relationship with God.
And I didn't have to speak in tongues because I knew that the experience that I had seeing that Jesus was alive and inside of me was enough. But I didn't know that with that ideal of enough did not fully, or I was not fully aware of the addendum that came along with that actually took place. It was much deeper than what was told, said, and recited and preached in church.
Sure. Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time studying the Bible to find out more of how to be more of a recital, repeating what we read in the Bible. And that was the reason why I went after asking the Lord to open me up to be able to read, which I didn't know that He was the one to do that. I thought that if I was going to do that, I would have to read more myself in order to articulate my reading skills, to remember and to recite all the scriptures I could remember from study, which in turn I thinking didn't know that was the ego telling me that if I remembered more scriptures, I would be more spiritual or more much closer to God.
Yeah.
And I hear that often. And used to be when somebody would say, I study them every day, I would say, fine. But now I have to make myself stop to consider that that's where they are and not to be able to rebuke them or go against them, believing that that was the finality. We came here not allowing ourselves to be our original Christ identity. In Christ, we would say faith. In Christ, we are this, we are that. But it did not fulfill the height, the breadth, the length, and the depth of what we know now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, it was an epiphany to find out that we were already eternal beings, eternal essence, without receiving Jesus as our Lord and Savior to get eternal life. I found out that we were sons of God, daughters of God, only if we were saved. But I didn't know that we all are sons and daughters of God, like the prodigal son being home, and then after leaving home and going out in the world, which we were out there then, we were still sons and daughters of God with or without the church experience.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what I've been wanting to say
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
years.
Took a lot to get that out.
Yes.
Jill said it put a lot of pressure on all of us to be able to quote scriptures perfectly and to say where those scriptures were located by the numbers and
I thought that was
chapters and verses.
Yeah, I thought that was the proof.
Mm-hmm.
And I went around everywhere. Our first church we went to, I did. She knew more about it than I did. I mean, I went to church, but it was just for religious reasons to come back home in the moonshine house and say, and they would announce it all over the house to every person in the house. He went to church today.
Yeah.
And I felt proud in my house until my uncle pulled the shotgun out and run everybody out and then beat the wife with the shotgun steady in the corner. I thought, wow, I need to go to church more and read and pray more to get God to stop him. Which in turn took me to the closet. But I didn't know that I was born upstairs in a house, brought downstairs, to be in a situation that I thought was of the devil, finding out that now I chose to be in that. Now I say that with all humility and gut pain of memory,
because
forgiving
yeah,
pain
yeah.
and forgiving the conditioned self.
Well, you shared with all of us that there are times when you struggle with the PTSD of your childhood.
Oh, Jesus.
And this week has been one of those weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah, because one night this week, I went to bed asking my inner self out of consciousness to remove all memories of the conditions that I went through when I was little.
But then the memory doesn't go away.
And I say it now with broken tears. I went to different ones and asked and told them. I didn't ask for forgiveness. I told them I forgive them for the environmental upbringing that was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wanted to go back to every girl that I came in contact with before I met my wife. I wanted to always go back and say to them, forgive me for the way I acted and did. But that's been there. There were some places I wanted to go and tell people the way I acted in, it was not the real me.
Is there such a thing? And I say this not so much in respect of your whatever you're going through.
Yeah.
But is there such a thing as a too sensitive conscience?
It is, in order to live in this in a too sensitive conscience and overly empathic, identifying with people's pain and hurt and suffering out of undue balance.
And when you have that trait or characteristic, you tend to, everything becomes personal. Every interaction with every person becomes personal, doesn't it?
I have this big increased awareness, large expansion. I wanted to say all of this to the whole world, knowing that they will not listen to it. I understand in my genealogy Christ identity. Whoa.
That's our salvation. The knowing of that Christ identity is our salvation.
I want to say it like this. I told somebody today on the phone, we were the Christ living eternal self inside of every patriarch.
Patriarch.
In the Bible from Genesis to Revelation and up to this point. I didn't know that I was already inside of Christ before I found out in the Bible that
and he and you as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, sitting here inside of each other.
Yes.
Cat Williams said he was every comedian.
No, it wasn't Cat.
Wasn't Cat?
No, it was Dave Chappelle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dave Chappelle.
I'm sorry.
Someone asked him how would he have handled if Will Smith had smacked him.
Yeah. That's right. I remember you saying that.
He said he honestly couldn't say because he didn't know.
Yeah.
But he could say, he said, I am Will Smith.
Yeah.
And I am Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Because there have been days when I felt like I was at the brink and about to smack somebody. He said at that point of that breaking point. He said, and there also been times when I felt like I was the victim and someone had mistreated me.
Okay.
He said, so I'm both. I am Chris Rock. I am.
Right. So it wasn't Cat Williams. I'm sorry
Smith.
about that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
But it was a very enlightened comedy.
Yeah.
Even though he's a comedian, it was a very enlightened message that he was giving.
The real self. But we came egotistically. It's the ego that will not allow us to be the self or to be less than our true to be less than the self that we were conditioned to be. The ego does not want us to be less than that was born, that we say, in sin and shaped in iniquity from our mother's womb. That is for us to be less than that, not because salvation depends on it from the church point of view, but from the point of view that that conditioned self was never us.
It has never been, yes.
But at the same time, I found the greatest experience of awareness that we were the Christ, the definition of the Christ, not just being Jesus, but the Christ is the universal part of all of us. The Christ is another word, another terminology, and there's some other foreign terminologies of being the pure self.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, glory be to God. I had to say it like that because I feel the feeling of that utterance coming out of my innermost being.
Okay. Marvita, hey, sweetheart. She says, I am Chris Rock and I am Will Smith is such an example of the Most High experiencing life through our avatars. Yes, it is. And now we are discovering, I should say, that truth is coming at us from all directions.
It is. It always
coming
has
at
been.
Us, not just from churches or spiritual groups or gurus. It's coming from babies. It's coming from animals. It's coming from comedians. It's coming from
the universe, the earth itself. It's coming
from all directions, and it's coming at us,
glory,
bombarding us fast. Truth is bombarding us really
right.
fast. Something else that Dave Chappelle said, I made myself watch it. I'm not really a fan of Dave Chappelle, but I made myself watch it to see what it would be like. His Netflix comedy session. And at the end, he had a very another enlightened message for the audience. You know, he's a great storyteller, but he said at the time that Chris Rock and Will Smith were in that interaction, he said he was experiencing their dream. He said, I experienced their dream. We were all experiencing their dream. He said, even this show that we're doing tonight, you are experiencing my dream, and I'm experiencing your dream. He said, thank you for allowing me to experience your dream.
That's the reason why I see people, when I talk to them, I said, I want to thank you and everybody that you and I have met for coming to earth into this story, this dream, and allowing us to meet again.
Yes.
Lord have mercy.
Now, John says, Pastor, your childhood as well as his was sculpted by an artist.
Knock me down and call me shorty. Oh God, you said it.
And one of the reasons
I heard your voice.
Yeah, and one of the reasons we discuss our personal challenges is because we want to be transparent enough to let you know that we, just like you, are having to work our way through these egotistical mindsets, these psychological feelings of pain. We have to work our way through them with the same tools that you have, with the same understanding that you have. And we're just here as examples that you can navigate through this life, be victorious in this life, be happy in this life, even when you can be happy and at peace even when your mind is acting crazy. You can be happy and at peace even when your feelings are all out of whack. You can be happy and at peace even when your body is sick and hurting. You can be happy, and we're just examples of that.
Years ago, in time of the story, every one of you in here, I would say to you, if you can get 6, maybe 10 people in your house, I would come to your house and share with you. And during that time, when I said this, it's called sharing groups. I would always be the main speaker at a sharing group, mostly. some of the most amazing, amazing, amazing Christ events would take place
Yeah.
in people's homes.
And I was just a tag along.
They would think a lot of times we went through the door that you was my daughter and I was your daddy.
You were my daddy.
Mm-hmm. Where's your wife? I said that she went through, just pressed you. We was in our 20s. Lord have mercy on my soul, baby Jesus.
Babies.
Baby Jesus. Listen to this. The real self, even though we repeat it often, I'm finding out. I forgive and release and allow the conditioned self of all of us to be forgiven for being attached to the memories of the dream.
Yeah. You can forgive yourself for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the real self,
I need you to look this way, baby.
The real self does not hold on to anything. It does not hold on to a form or a shape. So that means that saying, born in sin and shaped in iniquity, that don't hold any water. That bucket got holes in it, and if you put anything in it, it leak out. It don't hold nothing. Oh my God. Here come the retriever. Here come the love machine. There she is. She's trying to make up to me because I had to talk real stern to her the other night. And she did some things that she knew that I was going to get her for. And she, when I mentioned it, her tail tucked. It's tucked now because when she comes to you like this, she said, I'll come to you in the name of the Lord.
As long as I know how.
It's on well, I don't know how. That's right. That's right. Her humility is what causes her tail to drop. My tail dropped and it's flat. I didn't know it was humility to make me have I didn't know it was humility to make me have a flat butt. So anyway, everybody, thank you.
He ostracized her from the pack last night, and when we went to bed,
ooh, you should have seen.
We went upstairs. She would knock him upstairs.
We was upstairs in the bed, and she down at the foot of the stair thinking, "You don't ostracize me. I don't belong in the pack no more." And so she stood down at the foot of the steps and growled and groaned and trying to get. And when I didn't get through to her, she come in here and turned over the trash can and started pulling paper out of it and anyway, I don't mention it too much because she'll hear it and her tail will drop again. So my tail dropped so much when I was little that that's why my butt flat now. So anyway,
now where did that come from?
Just a little note I just put in there.
Yeah, I see.
So I finally come back out 2 or 3 times and said to her, baby girl, come on upstairs. She came up and jumped in the bed. And this morning when I got up, I tell you something else what she did. She came to me when I was in the living room. And she usually come up like she just did then. And when she put her head on me, last night, I didn't mess with it. I didn't touch it. So she turned around and walked off with her tail tucked. She finally tried it. See, she come again. She know we're talking about. Here she is again.
Yeah, because you're talking about.
Because we're talking about it. She knows. Yeah. She knows when things are right and when it ain't.
But you can't go off.
I know. But I can. Because I can't go off.
I don't want to go off.
When I'm going off. So anyway, our mind is attached to the shape and the form. And that's the reason why we worship the positionalities that is gained in this finite world. Positionalities, pastors, prophets, evangelists, pastor, teachers, mechanics, and all that, even though they are essential in these dimensions, but the attachment to them to the degree that our full identity identifies with that 24/7. Our free-form mind.
Free-form mind?
The free-form mind, watch this now, the free-form mind is so formed in believing that it is free because it is the mind. It always was said on the commercial, is a terrible thing.
A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Mind is a terrible thing to waste.
But what is the
And then
free form?
A free form mind, meaning that a mind in the form is free to be nothing else but the form, instead of being free to give up its positionalities to discover the true self as Christ. The free form mind.
Yeah. I understand. I was just thinking of something. There is a minister that I won't call his name, but there is a minister that comes on YouTube. It's really, really popular. He's a very legalistic, strict minister. Has a really large, effective ministry. Multiple churches under him in a lot of different countries. Very well known. He was talking against Christmas, of course, because he's very legalistic and he feels like that's a pagan holiday. But I was thinking about what you were sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom, free form, that free form mind. It triggered something inside of me. There was a freedom that I experienced this Christmas that didn't come from me fighting whether Christmas is right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So in his message, this pastor, he was telling people that it was a pagan holiday and that they should not celebrate it. So they probably would not celebrate it because of fear of being out of the will of God,
Mm-hmm.
or going against the scriptures as he's taught it. But at the same time, they weren't experiencing freedom. They were living what they believed to be the Bible out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, what I was experiencing was a freedom from the fantasy of Christmas, but also I had the freedom to enjoy it. So there was no antagonism. There was no fighting. So freedom is not when you refrain from something because you think it's dangerous.
Okay.
Freedom is not when you refrain from something because you think it's the wrong thing to do. Freedom is when you no longer want to do it.
Yeah. And this is something I say to people all the time. I say this sparingly, but I say it to you guys. There is a place that I think is the most amazing, beautiful place. And I don't have any problem with it because I was raised up in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the ABC store is a pretty store.
You like the bottles?
I like the bottles and the way the
Mm-hmm.
colors. And when I go in there,
Mm-hmm.
I go in there and I look and I tell the ones that are in there, I don't drink the stuff, but I like to collect it.
Yeah.
And I don't have to, I have it in the house and I don't have to.
So you're free.
I'm free.
From the pull of it.
Yeah.
But you're also free if you choose to drink.
That's right.
So freedom is not about right or wrong.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Or
It's
do's
not.
and don'ts.
I just don't do it.
Yeah. And it's your choice.
And it has
It's your
nothing to
choice.
do with being a Christian. Do a Christian smoke? No. Do a Christian
Right.
smoke?
You're not trying
Yes.
to uphold what a Christian should look like.
Because Christians came into my house and got 50-cent drinks, 75-cent drink.
When you were growing up, they did.
Yeah, they came to my house. My
that was
house
a normal thing.
was full of colors of people and white, black, everything. So,
But we're talking about what is truly freedom.
Yeah.
And I like what Vincent, he says, and I took it off of there. The free form mind, he says, then ain't nothing but water in a bottle. Then.
Okay, go ahead.
The real mind is that which is the bottle.
Oh, get
the
out.
Water
Here,
and the observer and the observed. Very well.
talk to me. Talk to
Very
me. Talk
well
to me. Come
said,
on, talk
young
to
man.
me. Okay.
I like that.
That's
that.
good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The kind of ideals of holding to something is not coming from our pure self. The ideal of, like hoarders, for instance,
Oh my gosh.
and we all do it in small ways.
Yeah, we do.
I still
We
have
do.
clothes upstairs
And we're
that I need to get rid of that I know I will never wear again. I should take all of them out, and when I go in there, sometimes better keep this. You might need this. You better hold on to this.
Even though you hadn't worn in 10 years.
And it's been 10 years, longer than that, baby. Been over 40, 50 years.
I remember hearing Muji say this. Muji's a spiritual guru that he listened to once in a while. He said, he cleaned out his whole closet and got rid of everything that he could no longer wear or hadn't worn in years, and took it to the consignment store, or what we would call Goodwill.
Yeah.
And he said when he got back home, he sat down and he thought about it. And he said he started to go back and get some of them.
Yeah.
He thought about
it.
I could use that.
Yeah.
And he wanted to go back and get it.
And
that's how attached we are to everything, really.
And when I look at these people on television, the oldest who houses are just junked. You can't hardly walk in there. Families have gotten disgusted with them and left them because of it.
And the hoarding started from them trying to numb themselves from some psychological pain.
The pain that they're going through is a false sense of security, insecure, and a fear that they are not going to have what they need. Now, how do you get them free from that? They chose in the finite world to send people to them to help them get rid of some of this stuff.
Yeah, because you can't appeal to their logical mind.
No,
it doesn't work.
And have to take it from, and some of them break and cry because
they have to see what is most important, what is more important than the things that they've collected.
Now, years ago, we would call that an unclean spirit.
In religious circles.
In religious circles.
Yes.
I thought it was the real thing to say, but it's okay.
So now we know it's a means of trying to relieve themselves of psychological pain.
These things.
And you know, I appreciate the fact that you share your struggles, because I feel like there's a lot of people who are struggling as well, but they've watched teachers who appear to have it all together.
Yeah, they do. That's true. Holding on to something or some things will cause us to take on its shape or form. Holding on to some things will cause us to block our true self and will cause shutdown of communication from our side to the pure self. But the pure self cannot ever stop being the real us.
Right. So that never changes, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what I'm feeling or going through. It never changes. And we said that repeatedly to the point that it's probably redundant to most of you. But there is what I call a sweet spot that is almost like when I was, let's see, when me and Shelly and Renee had a girls trip. We went to the Bahamas. I didn't know how to swim. My niece Shelly taught me how to swim while we were there. What she taught me was how to let go.
She did.
And trust.
I remember that.
I remember, man, I was swimming like a fish in the Bahamas.
Wow.
I got back home, went to the gym, and all of a sudden, I couldn't swim.
Yeah.
But it wasn't because I couldn't swim. It was because I no longer was willing to let go and just trust.
That's right.
And she was there to coax me along. But with no one there to coax my mind alone, it went right back to and reverted right back to the way it was before. So now I know. So now I know I can swim, but my mind can't swim.
That's the same principle that caused Peter to sink when he was walking with Jesus out on the water.
So in order for this being, this entity here to swim, the mind's going to have to be let go of.
You stop being the I amness.
I did. And it was such a such a surrender. And I know you guys have probably heard this before. You have to surrender and let the water hold you.
Now, here's the way I receive what you just said. There's only one person that can swim,
Mhm.
and there's only one person that can, as the real teacher, show how or be surrendering in us, through us, as us.
Mhm.
The the doing self of trying to attain this.
That's it. It was I jumped back into doing swimming.
Yeah,
And even a dead man floats.
you had to become the water. That's right.
So it was the doing of trying to float. Trying was what kept it from happening.
I saw something beautiful on television time say when people cross over, their body still got air in it.
And that's true.
And usually,
That's true.
yeah, usually when a person died, the air come out.
Yeah.
Well, this guy died and the air didn't come out. So
Okay, where's this going? Where's it going?
so,
Where's it going?
so they stepped on him
Oh no.
and air came out.
Yeah. You made me think of though. You made me think
They
about
stepped on him and air came out all the holes.
Look, you made me think about my mom. She worked for Bowman Gray Med School.
Ah, no.
They always had cadavers because they were training all the doctors. So they kept the people who inspired. They kept them, and there was one elevator that they used to take the cadavers from one place
Oh,
to the
no.
other. My mom decided she's going to use that elevator. She was supervisor over housekeeping, and she decided she's going to take that elevator. And she got on there, and there was a cadaver on the gurney.
Oh Lord!
She said when that elevator started going down, she said that cadaver was moving like this, and his arm flew out. She couldn't wait for the doors to open. She almost made an exit in that elevator. See the arm went out like that. She stuck up in a corner till the doors opened up.
Oh Lord!
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but it made me think about it.
Now that would move you out of your pure self, won't it?
Yeah. I do know this. Laughter has helped us a lot, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Laughter has helped us a whole lot.
I slept in the room when I was growing up with my uncle and aunt, and one night my uncle got up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom. He was sick. And their bed was close to the wall, so when he got up, he had to get up on his side. And when he had a big bed, so what he did, in order to get out, he had to get like this and slide down the wall. Well, he slid down and he fell. When he went down, he went down between the wall and the bed and was stuck. He was passing gas and trying to do everything to get out of that tight spot. And then the bed didn't move. It just mashed him up in the corner. That Negro had a time trying to get out between that wall and that bed. He finally made it. Me and my aunt left. And my aunt said, "Buck, you done slid down in between the bed."
Now we gotta get back on track. But you started this talking about somebody passing gas.
Yeah, said they wouldn't.
When they died.
Yeah, said they dead. So when they passed, they crossed over. Their bodies got air in it. And this one didn't die, and then air didn't come out, so they just stepped on him and mashed him, and air come out every hole.
Okay. Move on. Move on. You go no.
He had plenty of air
We
conditioning.
can't talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, Lordy. Mm.
So you are not the conditioning that took place with this body.
When people have near-death experiences, they are experiencing what it is like for the soul body or the spirit body to exit the eternal self, to exit a temporary house. And we've done that many, many lifetimes.
A temporary state of consciousness.
Yes, yes. We did not come into this physical body to stay. It is only a temporary school, which makes all of us pieces of the amazing translation of investigation and no longer prognostication of the termination to stay here forever.
Well, you know, we talk about oneness, but oneness simply means there is only one. There is only one. While it may look like there are many, there is only one. And that many that we're looking at is the one.
We all are
it is
one.
the one.
That's right. The great fall that we call generational curses of our families, the great fall is the unwillingness to become and wake up to oneness with everybody in the earth at the same time.
I have a question.
And salvation in church don't teach you that.
Right. I have a question. Do we really have generational curses?
Thank
or
you.
are there just the same dispositions that our families had that we continue?
Yep.
The dispositions, meaning I do the same things, I eat the same way, I have the same behavior, I have the same routines. Is it the dispositions that recreate the same things that they had to deal with?
And I just realized, I just look here, we cannot get out of these bodies, physically leave the body, unless we become a divine essence or divine self, because only the divine self can leave these bodies. Only the divine self can stay in it.
Okay, let me take a leap. I'm gonna take a quantum leap.
Go ahead.
Okay, we have the tendency to think of in and out, the inside this body, outside this body, coming in, coming out. What if the essence of God or the essence of what we are is not inside the body, but actually is within every part of the body and outside of the body?
That's the fullness awareness.
Yes, because there is no in and out if it's not relative to this body. There's no in and out, so there cannot be a within. It only will be a within if you recognize a without. And if there's only one, there's no such thing.
Somebody asked me one time in a service, they said, Reverend Sawyer, I want to talk to you. I said, what is it? She said, would you pray that God would stop me from sucking my thumb?
Oh, gosh, I remember that.
I said, what?
It was a pastor, right?
In a church, yeah.
It was in a church, and her whole family.
She said, my whole family sucked their thumb.
That's what I meant when I say, is it a generational curse that we're actually dealing with? Or is it the disposition of our families? We follow the same patterns.
Let me tell you something.
And end up the same way.
Yeah. Let me tell you something happened on the way to church one day. I was in my Land Cruiser, I believe it was, and it set up with big tires and it set up higher than a car. This lady was blocking traffic on the left side going down the expressway. And I just got tired of waiting. So I just pulled over in the right lane and pulled up to see what was going on. I thought maybe she was having an emergency. At that time, cell phones was not that popular. So I pulled up beside her and I looked over it, glanced at it, and I did a double take. I said, and she was sucking her thumb, holding up traffic.
Oh my goodness.
I looked at her, and when I got past, I slowed up again, and I went back and looked at her. When she had that thumb up there, she realized, looked over at me, and she snatched it out.
And it's not the sucking the thumb that was the problem. The problem is they used that
Yeah.
to comfort themselves
Yeah.
or to numb themselves to whatever psychological pain that they were going through. So that was the way they coped.
I know some people suck their thumb till they turn white.
But yeah, I know.
I mean, just
my baby brother had a corn on his
Gary.
Yes.
Wow, you may have told me that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I sucked the ball until I was 50.
Yes. You're laughing. It sounded like Debbie the dog too. Listen, we just acting silly today. Just forgive us.
I sucked it till I was able to
walk. We know they throw your Coca-Cola bottle away.
They did. I wanted my nipple.
Don't say no more. Don't say no more. Don't say nothing. Let me read this comment. Don't say no more. It's going downhill. Don't say no more. 50 said. Now I can't talk. That's true. That's what the doctor uses, dispositions from previous family activities, and they don't label it as generational curses. Are you going? You come back. You don't open up a can and you don't know what to do with it. Forgive us.
Yeah. Okay.
Get it tonight.
No.
Just get it. Yeah. And so this is pointing out the fact that's why they want your family history.
Yeah. Oh, really?
The doctors want your family history. Because they know that you tend to follow the same patterns.
I pull that one on Slessy when I see her.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
But that, and I think our religious mind wanted to deal with generational curses like God was putting a curse on.
Okay, well, I'm back. You're
going to be all right.
Yeah, I'm okay.
No, you're not. Take a deep breath.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm going to be all right.
No, you're not. No, you're not. He can't stop. He can't stop. He's through.
All this is it's just part of my life, you know what I mean? I guess I'm attached to it, but anyway. So when I threw that ball out across the creek on the back porch, I cried and get somebody to go out and find it. If I could have found that ball the next day.
Listen, guys, it was a Coca-Cola ball. One of the little kind shaped like a woman with a nipple on it. That was his bottle.
And I threw that ball out there. And that's how I broke myself from sucking the bottle.
You threw it away.
Some of the best milk in the world.
But you know, that's one of the things that you do. Whenever, one of the things that you have a habit of doing is when you've collected something and you know it's gone too far.
That's why I got you.
You will shut it down. You will shut it down, or give it away, or throw it away. You will do, and that's one of your. That's something that you do. You gave away a whole entire collection of CDs.
Yeah, I sure did.
You gave away, pretty much. You gave away those model trains.
You
got a little bit for it, but it was basically gave it away.
Yeah.
And you shut down an account that you had
for buying trains.
To buy trains.
Yeah.
You shut down an account you had to buy clothes.
Yeah.
Because you know when you go too far, it's got to stop. So what you do is you arrest your mind. You've been good at that.
Yeah. I put it under duress.
You arrest it when it starts to go too far.
But I know that if I don't do something drastic the way it was drastically started, it'll never stop.
It would never stop.
Oh.
Well, I think that's a good message tonight. Don't you?
Oh, shucks, yeah. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. We got so much more.
To arrest the mind.
Yeah, we got so much more.
And you have the power to do that. You have the power to arrest your mind.
I finally found out the truth that is the truth of the universe. Let's go into this with dirty hands, finding out that
dirty
that
hands.
those dirty hands, metaphorically speaking, cannot separate us. The only thing that separates us is the lie
Yeah.
that we are separated because we are not
Yeah.
talking about it, reading about it,
Mhm.
inviting people over to our house to have meetings and talk about it, studying and praying. Oh, what a relief it is.
Mhm.
And it was not alcohol, so that relieved me. Somebody told me in the factory, I said, I got indigestion real bad. They said, go home and get you a pinch of soda.
Soda.
Soda. Call it soda.
Oh, okay.
I went and got a pinch, and boy, did it blow. I pinched it too.
Mm-hmm.
But it got rid of the indigestion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of tonight. We want to thank you for bearing the pain and the load of the joy of laughter with us. It's been a wonderful moment, as always.
It has.
We'll come back and
Yeah.
see you and talk to you again. We ain't going nowhere. Everything is okie dokie.
It is.
It is okie dokie.
Mm-hmm. It is.
We know now that we are a Christ for real in the midst of a storm. All day today has been a storm, and the Christ hadn't changed yet.
Yeah.
What seemed to change is feelings, memories, modes, things, objects. They are nowhere close to the unchanging self, except that we use them to support our physical anatomy long enough for us to find the truth in these bodies. Some people leave and don't find it out until the next term. Yeah, our next term for many of it. We've been taught in church that once we get saved, go to heaven, that there's no more of this world. But everybody don't come back to this. Everybody never leave it. But in the mind, it's a different story. That's the story. Now, the story is we are now free
We really are.
to look at this thing correctly. Glory, glory, glory. From 1 minute laughter, kidding, joking, back joking, back to seriousness. We cry a little bit, we laugh a little bit, we praise, we rejoice a little bit, but we never have lost sight of our pure self. Again, thank you.
Thank you guys so much. And I wanted to say, to emphasize to you guys, because it's the cold season, there's a lot of different viruses just moving around. So you may want to be a little bit more cautious about being in a lot of large groups without masks. You might want to protect yourself a little bit more. And make sure that you take your vitamin D3 and your vitamin C.
Oh, Dr. Sawyer.
Do all of that to keep your body in optimum shape, okay? Just a word of caution so you can avoid getting some of these viruses that are going around, okay? And Jill said that the healthcare facilities are putting the mask back on.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
So thank you, Jill, for saying that, because I just felt that we need to say that again. And that I said that simply because I had that virus back after Christmas, and I think I'm still feeling some of the residual from that. Just be cautious of that. And I know we want to get together. That's always what we want to do, but just be a little bit more
cautious about the mask. We can come together, but wear the mask. One monkey don't stop the show.
Oh, no. So we love you, and we'll see you again. If you can join us on Thursday, we'll be back
at
with
12:30.
Another conversation with Pastor Norman on Impromptu at 12:30. Okay. And if not, we'll see you again on Sunday. And yes, Jill, we can Zoom. We can Zoom really soon. In fact, I think I've got to pay for that subscription, which is about $200 to do it. It's coming up soon. So, yes, we can do that, sweetheart. We will do that soon. I will let you know.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight. And again, we say, Pastor Norman, keep your nose clean, your britches on, and we'll be seeing you on a turnaround.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm. That's an old saying we would say it.
Yes.
I mean, stay status quo. Stay in the middle of the path. The middle path, tie it down on the right side, left side, and keep it working.
What happens if they don't take any wooden nickels?
Well, you're going to have to find a way to establish your identity beyond the wooden nickels. Don't take no wooden nickels. That's what it means. In other words, don't take anything that's fake, false.
Right.
Hold on to the reality of the Christ consciousness. Okay.
Love you guys. We'll see you next time.
See you on the turnaround. Bye-bye.